Another example that might illustrate the difference between the physical and the astral. When I was in school, there was this woman who taught English. And I asked her once, I said, what was the most impactful thing that any of your students ever told you? And she said, well, it happened a few years ago for her. And she said it was a student from the Arabian countries. I don't know which one.
Yeah.
And she said he had just arrived. I was in charge of teaching him English. That's why he came. And it was summertime. And then it started raining. It's England. And he ran outside without any umbrella or anything. He just ran outside and put his face up, and he was just full of wonderment. And she ran after him with an umbrella, and she's like trying to put it on him, and she's like pushing it away, and she's like talking really fast. And then eventually he explained that he had never seen water fall from the sky in such abundance. And it was just falling everywhere. Nobody cared. And it was just so wondrous that, I mean, obviously he must have heard of rain, she thought, but maybe not. But the experience of it was just overwhelming for him. Welcome to the Driving to the Rest podcast. This is Inelia.
And this is Larry. Just a quick note. If you're hearing this, you're on our free feed, which means you'll only get the first part of this conversation.
To access the rest, go drivingtotherest.com and subscribe to the Wisdom Keeper Hour.
Join us and our expert panelists for detailed insights and the after party where you're invited to join in the conversation. Head over to drivingtotherez.com and become a subscriber.
Your $8 subscription keeps this podcast ad-free and helps us keep the lights on and maybe even get a decent cup of coffee. More importantly, it connects you with a community of passionate wisdom keepers like yourself. So if you're ready to go deeper, join us at drivingtotherest.com and support the journey. Hi.
Hello. Welcome to the We Talks
Episode of Driving to the Res.
where we dive into perspectives that stretch our minds.
Indeedy.
Today we're exploring experiences that blur the lines between the everyday and the extraordinary, inspired by the fascinating blog by the collective known as The We.
The We.
Now, if you're thinking what or who is The We, let's break it down in a way that feels real and approachable.
Okay.
Picture this. We all have that inner voice, right?
Which inner voice?
The one that whispers intuition during tough decisions or sparks a creative idea out of nowhere.
Uh-huh.
Well, now amplify that to the level of an entire collective-sized consciousness, a vast, multiple viewpoint awareness not bound by a single body or ego.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of voice.
That's a lot of voice.
That's the We, a non-singular entity that's had the exciting idea of finding out what is it like to be a singular person incarnated on Earth, and has been sharing insights through their human expression.
Yes.
You.
Yes.
And here's the twist. It's a bit of a mind bender.
Okay, go for the twist, honey.
It's not that Anelia channels the We.
No.
Not in the traditional sense of a channel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Instead, think of it as the We who are channeling Inelia.
Yeah, that's more accurate.
She's their deliberate manifestation in our physical world, a bridge they created to experience a singular incarnation.
Mm-hmm.
And while they're at it, communicate their raw wisdom, energy, and even their music with the rest of us.
Yes.
Us soul-body humans. Anelia isn't just a vessel, though. She is the We in human form.
Yes.
Experiencing life through the human senses, emotions, and creativity that the We find utterly fascinating.
Yes.
And rare in the cosmos. And I use the cosmos to mean
the universe?
Universally, whatever, galaxy.
Okay.
The We speak through Anelia's writings, podcasts, and now music on platforms like Spotify, iTunes, and AneliaRecords.com.
Uh-huh.
Often with a touch of humor and always profoundly touching.
Yes. I don't think they've gone into iTunes.
Oh, well.
But Spotify, definitely. Yes.
Well, what makes the We so intriguing?
To whom?
Well, to humans. Soul-body humans.
That's an answer you will have to give.
They flip our assumptions about things. For them, our solo physical life our solo physical life is the wild boundary pushing thing.
Okay.
While things like out-of-body astral realms of light are pretty much the everyday normal.
For our humans?
No, for the we.
Right. Well, no, they're kind of in the same packet.
In the same packet.
Yeah.
Well, for humans, soul body humans, like an astral travel through the realms of light or whatever, that's like the wild stuff. And for the we,
It's
sitting
the
in
same.
a chair at the table is the wild stuff.
No, it's the same.
It's wild because you came here to have it.
Yeah, but no, what I'm saying is that your astral realm
Yeah.
is the same as your physical realm.
Well, I get that.
So
We'll
it's the
work on
same.
expanding our awareness around that right now. I'm just talking
Okay.
about from a human perspective.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. From a human perspective,
That's
would be,
wild and different.
Yes.
But from the weird perspective,
No.
it's not. The one we're having is more wild than that.
I
one.
would say no. I would say that for the we perspective, the astral or whatever's and the physical is just as wild. The same wild. Because they're the same.
All right. So the statement that they're the same is something that a lot of people doing meditations and out of body experiences and astral travels and DMTs and mushrooms and all these other things exploring the other realms, they find that those realms are completely different. There's completely different rules of engagement, completely different memories, completely different experiences of reality.
Mm-hmm.
They are only the same in the sense that they're experienced by the person in some fashion. Otherwise, they seem totally different.
So you used to dive for urchins
Yes, I was a sea urchin diver for a good 5-10 years.
for about 10 years, right? And would you say that when you put it on that suit, plugged into that air channel and other wires that you might be using for safety and got into the water, that your experience of the physical universe was the same as those people on the boat or people at the village at that moment?
Other than the environment that we're in, same.
Yeah. And would you say that environment was something that you could explain with words?
Yeah.
Yeah. And would people really understand the entire thing? What you were going through at the time?
They would have a feeling of it, but they wouldn't really, have that experience without that experience.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they need to understand, and it would be hard to articulate all the differences
Right?
because there's like how do you explain how hard it is to hold your face down? I mean,
Yes.
holding your face down, your face is just normal. It doesn't even have a hold your face down in a normal experience.
Uh-huh.
But when you're urchin diving, your face has a balloon full of air on the front of it, trying to lift it up all day long.
So your neck and
So your neck and your stomach and everything's getting a workout you don't even think about. So there's a lot of those kind of experiences
Mm-hmm.
that without you doing it, I mean, I've basically expressed how it might feel, but without doing it, you really, really don't know how it feels.
Exactly, yeah. Another example that might illustrate the difference between the physical and the astral. When I was in school, there was this woman who taught English. And I asked her once, I said, what was the most impactful thing that any of your students ever told you? And she said, well, it happened a few years ago for her. And she said it was a student from the Arabian countries. I don't know which one.
Yeah.
And she said he had just arrived. I was in charge of teaching him English. That's why he came. And it was summertime. And then it started raining. It's England. And he ran outside without any umbrella or anything. He just ran outside and put his face up, and he was just full of wonderment. And she ran after him with an umbrella, and she's like trying to put it on him, and she's like pushing it away, and she's like talking really fast. And then eventually he explained that he had never seen water fall from the sky in such abundance, and it was just falling everywhere. Nobody cared. And it was just so wondrous that, I mean, obviously he must have heard of rain, she thought, but maybe not. but the experience of it was just overwhelming for him. So amazing. So all this wealth of water just falling everywhere on his face, and so that was such a different experience of the physical world. And the astral is just that. It's the physical world, but in a sense of experience that most people would find rather different and difficult to explain, like curtain diving, or for somebody who's never seen water fall from the sky to see it.
Well, is the astral experience a solo physical experience?
Yes.
All right. Well, then it wasn't a very good analogy.
Well, that's what we're trying to explain.
One of the questions were the different levels of experiences that the we might have had, and some of this conversation is to try to detail what one of our listeners' questions was, which is, can the we please tell us more about different experiences it has, experiences inside and outside physical reality, so that we don't differentiate between what we call physical reality, sitting in this chair at this table, and an astral table and chair. But
right.
We here consider them radically and completely different. So despite the fact that they're the same from the we's perspective, they're different from ours.
Yeah.
So we just use it to describe that. And our differentiating of it, it's...
we was asking, what do you mean by that?
What do you mean by that? Is like they're the same, but they're not the same.
Right.
So they are and they aren't. So when we push our boundary a little bit, the boundary pushing, I understand, is that don't consider these astral realms and spiritual realms as different than this physical realm. They are, as we are saying, the same. So what can explain how radically different they feel to us? I mean, we don't need to take mushrooms in order to explore that realm. We don't need meditations to explore this one. We just wake up and we're here.
How do you know that?
Because I'm here and I woke up.
When you're in a dream, do you think that that's totally normal and,
Well, sometimes, but, sometimes become aware of, hey, things are a bit weird right now. I think I'm in a dream. And then when I realize I'm in a dream, a lucid dream, I think, okay, well, now I can do whatever I want, instead of the other reality where, all right, I'm limited by gravity, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I can't fly, I can't go over here, I can't go there. I have to drive there, I have to drive here. So the whole experience of everything is, different in time and different in gravity and different in where and what I can experience. So the experience is so different.
Yes. You know what's coming next, right?
No.
That if you were to become lucid in like what you feel is the real physical world during the day when you're awake, if you became lucid then, you'd have pretty much the same feelings and experiences that you do when you wake up in your nighttime dreams and become lucid there.
So that's a pretty good mind bender. If you just become lucid in your awake reality, then you can drop some of the things like gravity or
limitations.
Time and limitations. Do you have any experiences or evidences of that, as we probably are aware of this, right? Can they give any examples about the different experiences you've had with regards to, say, time, or with regards to, say, gravity, or some of the limitations that we generally, like, we're asleep, but we can't jump up and just stay up.
Have you ever experienced, or have you ever heard of people stepping into another person's lucid dream?
Vaguely, I've heard of it, yeah.
And how does that go?
Well, that was only vague. I can't really remember any specifics, but I understood that some psychonauts, as they like to call themselves, want to meet up in the non-physical reality world and exchange data in the form of a number or a thought or idea or picture or something, and then bring that exchange back to their conscious now reality, the one we're sitting in, and see if they actually met up and if they actually could pass information and actually retain it and bring it back.
And did that succeed?
Well, I can't remember the specifics I believe that it was like partially, sometimes, barely, or mostly not at all.
Okay, let's have a look like an imagination one. Let's imagine that you step into another person's daydream or night dream, and they may or may not be lucid, probably not. And they're dreaming that they are inside a train. So they're sitting inside a train, and they can see all the like trees and everything going by, and you step into that lucid dream and you get in their train, right? Or maybe you're looking from outside the train and they're inside the train having a dream about being in a train. And then what do you do? Do you want to wake them up and inside the dream, or do you want to just sit beside them inside the train and see what they're experiencing? What would you like to do?
Have them acknowledge me. I don't care if we're on the train or not.
Okay. So how would you go about having this person who's having a dream in the train acknowledge that you exist?
Interact.
How do you do that? Do you get in the train?
Get their attention, yeah. You get in the train, maybe give them a rose or some chocolate or something that will gather their attention.
Okay.
Picture, a drawing, some letters on a piece of paper and say, hey, look at this. Do you see it? Something that I engage with them and they reply, oh, yes, I see it.
Okay. And then what?
That's it. Then the next day, call them up and say, hey, did you see what I showed you on the train? Which clearly has problems because most of us wake up and don't even remember our dreams.
Right. So you've identified quite a few items of the we experience.
Yeah.
So are the we lucid within this dream, and can they break all the rules? It's like stepping into that train. And first of all, do you want to break the rules inside the train? Do you want to break that dream?
No, my inclination wasn't to dissolve the train and sit down in a table.
Right.
It was just to engage you with wherever you are. Exactly.
So you, first of all, mostly you leave that dream alone. But you try to connect and communicate with the person that's sitting inside their own dream.
Yep.
Right? Now imagine that person is an entire collective of people.
Okay.
Maybe 8 billion of them.
That's a lot.
First of all, the dream's going to be a lot more solid.
Right. It's going to be a pretty big train.
It's going to be a pretty big train. Yeah. And then why would you want to break it?
Well, you did. You switched it off.
I tried to switch it off and it just kept coming back.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So people persist in their dream.
Yeah. So even if you do dissolve it, it's still going to come back anyways.
Yeah. And then the interesting aspect is communication. Right? And maybe when you gave them pictures or letters, what did those pictures have on them?
An agreed upon, maybe an image that we agree that's identifiable and rememberable.
So now there's another aspect to it, because now you've said agreement. That means that you had communication with this person before they went to sleep.
Many people try that, where they agree ahead of time, okay, we'll meet up in dreams and try and remember what it is. The minute you wake up, write it down, that kind of thing. So they work really hard to expand their memory and awareness, and they're working on dreams and remembering dreams so that they can share information and bring it back.
Yeah, no.
Just for the exploration.
Yeah, exactly. For the exploration, and also maybe to learn lucid dreaming, right? Maybe.
Well,
or maybe even just to remember their dream. After they come out of it.
Oftentimes enough to try to prove that the realms are real and not an imagination.
Yeah.
Because is it a real place that we're really going when we dream that I met you in? Or is this just a thing made up in my brain?
Yeah. So there's an aspect of you wanting to know, did I make it all up that this person is in this dream? Or actually they created this dream and I'm trying to communicate with them in their dream. Yep. So that was another dynamic, right? Yes.
So Louise's experience of every day is like our experience of meeting other people in dreams.
Yes.
Where you meet them and you talk to them and sometimes they engage, sometimes they don't. And no matter what you say, most all the time they forget it anyway.
Yes.
How wonderful.
What?
It's absurd, right?
Yeah.
So have you considered how to help? Well, I think you've considered how to help. I mean, it'd be way more entertaining if they remembered your conversation, wouldn't it?
Well, I don't know.
Well, because the we did come here for their experience of like a singular in a human body, but the singular in the human body agreed with a few conditions, if you recall.
What were those conditions? Do you
Something
remember?
about mission, something about responsibility, and
Are we talking about the physical body elemental now?
yeah,
Yeah, that's a different thing.
not really, because the human singular experience includes that human
Includes
body.
it,
Right.
but it's not just that.
Right. So the human body's agreement to host the we included a few things that the human body gets out of the deal.
Yeah, like only for a couple of months and then you're out.
Right. But there was mission involved.
Yes. But
And
by
one of
the
those
time
mission was raise what?
that was the agreement for a couple of months.
Right. And it's modified over time.
Mm-hmm.
So currently there's the one that has to do with the split, right? Where we're going to be co-creating a reality based more on light than based on light dark.
Mm-hmm.
And to accomplish that, remembering what it is that you're saying could help. Because you can say, for instance, drop low frequency engagements. And then if people remembered it.
So there's an underlying supposition with that statement, and that would be that we have a mission or care about a mission, so that making people remember things might make it easier to complete that mission, but that we don't have a mission.
But they have an agreement.
That was broken 2 months after incarnation.
It's still in play.
Mm-mm.
Still have a body, and it's still alive.
Yeah, not by its agreement.
Well, explain that a little bit.
Well, now by its agreement, but not because of missions.
It doesn't care about which side of the split that's co-created by the bodies that's going to have the experience.
No.
So why is it doing it?
Now that's a more interesting question, isn't it?
It's the next question.
So what's it? The body or the we or the combo or what? What are we talking about here, Inelia?
I guess any and all of the above. The ones that might be concerned about people remembering stuff, that would be a good start.
The remembering things at first was a shock, a surprise. Yeah. And there was a little while where the we and Inelia would spend the energy trying to help people remember.
Like saying the things 100 times in a row?
No, that came after when all of the other attempts figured out that it's not going to work. So it's just, it doesn't matter. You breathe every day. You don't count the times you breathe in and out, right? You breathe in, you breathe out. You breathe in, you breathe out. But you don't count it or get frustrated because you have to breathe 10,000 times a day. I don't know how many times, but
right. But we don't need to remember that.
No.
But we do have some success with certain techniques for remembering dreams.
Uh-huh.
And imagining the same thing might apply to remembering conversations with the we.
Uh-huh.
So there's got to be something there.
So what
do you do to remember dreams? You know, have a dream journal and you set up a practice.
Now what I understand now is that the frustration that you projected onto the we is actually your own frustration of not remembering things. Because the we don't have that frustration. It's a breathing in and out. It just happens. It's part of nature and reality and co-created reality and stuff. So the frustration is you as a recipient of those messages or words or energies wanting to remember it past a few hours or seconds, and how to figure some way of, asking the week, okay, can you help me remember? Would that be accurate, do you think?
Well, I don't think it was about me at all. It was about co-creating the light paradigm through the split and transmitting the information that is intriguing to us, the different perspective, the wider understanding, the literal understanding, like that the astral and the physical are similar or the same. Mm-hmm. Good information, but useless if you forget it instantly. Mm-hmm. So with the knowledge of it, it starts to dissolve the physicality permanence, it doesn't stay so physically permanent in my estimation. It's like your thoughts create reality, but we can't keep a thought for more than 5 seconds, so we're going to have like whatever reality somebody else is thinking very strongly is going to be.
Yes.
So the
Or a
we
group of others.
or a group of others, right?
Yeah.
So if the we don't care the experience of human singularity is, then I guess it doesn't matter. If the we do care which reality they're experiencing, then it does matter. Because you need the beings co-creating realities with you to agree with you and remember enough to get in line, I guess, and not be like easily swayed by whoever else might be sending messages to think or forget of or make other thoughts, I guess. So I guess do the we care what reality they're in?
When and where?
Now.
Oh, you mean within regards to the split?
Yeah. Sure.
Can you be more specific?
We engaged in actively co-creating the light side of the split.
Actively co-creating the light side of the split. Are the we actively co-creating the light side? No.
Or is the body that they're channeling actively engaged in that?
No.
That's a little difficult to understand because it seems to be the words that have been shared by Anelia, that she's here to raise the frequency of the planet, the frequency and the vibration of the planet, but that isn't for the purpose of co-creating a light paradigm. What would be the purpose of it?
So the purpose of it would be to nowadays have a split where people are able to collaborate and co-create different experiences. But are they we co-creating that experience? No. Are they facilitating other people becoming aware enough so that they can co-create that experience? Yes.
Okay, so that's, I guess, my point is that for them to be consciously co-creating, they need to remember. So how we could help them remember better would be in the we's interest, it would seem.
It could be, but it is about you, right? You remembering, because the we remembers, Inelia remembers.
Okay.
Right? So it's about you remembering or other people remembering, I think.
Well, part of the reason we're talking right now is sharing this information with others.
Yeah, so
because
there's nothing wrong with it.
And intriguing.
I don't know why you would become defensive about making a statement of accuracy.
So that's my personal interest that I remember?
Yeah, and you as a person that wants the split and the new paradigm.
I guess I don't appreciate or understand what this is about. I was trying to ask a question.
Yeah.
My question is literally, without being weird, do you want people to remember when you interact with them, or does it matter not at all? And the answer I got was it didn't matter to you one way or the other.
It doesn't seem to matter.
Okay, then. Do you think there are different definitions of physical versus non-physical in different cultures on the planet? Like some cultures consider the non-physical to be part of the physical more than others?
Oh, I thought you meant like air or solid things.
When I say non-physical, I mean astral realms,
right.
Non-physical entities, beings that aren't walking around in a physical body, that are invisible to people with their regular eyes.
Yes.
Those are what we mean when we say non-physical.
Yes. I think some cultures haven't shut off the things that you would consider non-physical as much as other cultures. I have been in cultures where, let's say, a spirit walks through the room and several people look at it as he's walking by. Well, that happening here or in Texas, no, it doesn't happen. So I have seen the cultures that don't shut that part off as much.
the Western culture, American one, I guess European one? Is there ones that are, what would you consider the ones that incorporate it more and the ones that incorporate it less? And have you noticed any difference in their experience of reality as better or worse or higher frequency or lower?
I don't think the frequency has anything to do with it, but I have noticed, or I did notice, that in England and Ireland, for example, the culture was more given to remembering these things, that these physical or non-physical, that Americans might say not physical, for them were actually part of the physical universe. They might not call it that, but they didn't forget to see it or see them. And there's a lot of history around that now. There's even a church that dedicates itself to talking to spirits.
Yeah. Well, pretty much all of them do in some way, right?
No, I meant like people who have died and gone past. Spirits.
Oh.
They literally are a church of mediums. So that would be one culture that I would say didn't forget as much as others.
Isn't Jesus one of those like dead beings that people talk to?
Well, I think we're going into a different direction here, like belief systems and religion, stuff like that. I wasn't aware that we were talking about that. I thought we were talking about astral travel, spirits, and that type of things being more physical or more accepted as normal in the physical universe, and cultures that felt that.
Right.
Now,
so
I'm pretty sure from having witnessed many, many people who worship Jesus, that most of them may talk to Jesus but have never seen Jesus or had any type of evidence that Jesus exists in the physical universe.
Oh, that's interesting, because I listened to a lot of people expressing their physical experiences of Jesus showed up, like my mom, where she was drowning and Jesus showed up and saved her from drowning or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it may or may not have been Jesus, it was a non-physical entity that she had a direct experience of, right? And, the churches are designed, I think, in some way to bring about or manifest a physical experience of what Jesus' love might be.
No, I would interpret it very
like
differently. I would interpret that your mom had psychic capacities and mediumship capacities, and that because she was a Christian at the time, her interpretation of it was taken that way. This being, this beautiful man with long black hair, this is her interpretation, saved her, right? Mm-hmm. And therefore, that must have been Jesus, because she was taught that Jesus saves.
Yep.
So I don't think it's that way inclined. I don't think that these churches generate a propensity to see spirits.
Maybe just one in particular.
And through the church itself, not by yourself.
Sure. That's the cultural thing, is like there are different cultures that have like everyday experiences with fairies or leprechauns or stick Indians or will-o'-the-wisps, or we're going to make up a lot of different djinns or whatevers. Mm-hmm. Yes. And other cultures that say those are tooth fairies and Santa Clauses and made up nothings that children are entertained with, and people who want to be children might like retain. Uh-huh. In different cultures, how is that in we's experience? Has that altered in any way the reality they actually experience?
The we experience, or the people who have those?
The people that have those, the cultures that have those different experiences. So we noticed in any of their observations of people, because they like to observe.
They do.
The different realities that those two cultures, maybe one way on one end and one way on the other end, might have of reality. Because one of them's blending the non-physical real with the real, and the other is like denying the non-physical has any real. Mm-hmm. What are their experiences of life at a regular day basis, like having breakfast, for instance? Is their breakfast experience different than
whose?
The one who has no inkling whatsoever of the non-physical real being a part of this real? Non-physical meaning invisible to regular people sitting at their breakfast table in the morning. Mm-hmm. There's no fairies running around. There's no Santa Clauses flying overhead. There's just table and eggs and bacon.
Mm-hmm.
Goes into your mouth and you eat it.
So is their experience different to the people who actually
The
see
reality
fairies?
they created, the reality that they're experiencing.
There's so many dynamics that change. I would say each person on the planet's experience that they're experiencing is different to every other person on the planet. Or even the universe.
So is there any benefit to a person to have the non-physical real intercede into the physical real on a scale of, say, power over others?
Oh, for power over others, definitely. Yes. Because they can have allies that are power over others that can influence masses and masses of people to control them or have power over them. Or even
the people having power over them,
or even
obviously believing in,
or even socially engineer
interactions.
a society that leaves doors wide open to these negative entities to come in and feed on negativity. So that's power over others.
Right. So it would seem to be that a culture that is engaged more in the non-physical reality is more susceptible to being tampered with by the power over others engagements, because there's more people to be in power over them. Because it's not
Say
just
that
the physical
again,
people.
because I didn't quite understand that.
It does seem then that people who have an experience of reality that includes non-physical beings
Are less likely to be influenced.
more likely to be influenced
Less likely.
by power of others' structures,
Yes.
because
Less
they
likely.
have more people
Less likely.
to be afraid of.
No, less likely.
There's demons.
Less likely.
They're less likely, even though there's demons now. Because, I mean,
if they see
the
a
other
demon
normal
coming
guys don't have
along
no
trying to
demons.
latch on, they'll be able to say, no, go away. While the person who doesn't see it and are told they don't exist are more likely to just leave the white doors wide open because there's nothing there to come through.
Okay, that's the opposite of what you would think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because we've been taught or shown or led to believe that belief is a large part of how functional these non-physical beings can be with you, you know?
Not
Like
the
if you
belief.
don't believe
no.
in them, then they're not really
It's the opposite.
joining your emotional
It's the
baggage.
opposite.
Like you ignore them.
It's the opposite.
Is it true that non-physical entities envy our physical tactile world? They want to be incarnated?
Some of them.
What makes it special?
It is like very different. A whole universe of physicality, co-created in the present, moment to moment, by all the people and entities and beings that enter it, or are it and enter it. So when we're talking about lucid dreaming, when I said if you could go into another person's lucid dream, is that interesting to you? If you could create a lucid dream and could invite people in, would you invite them in to share what you've created there?
Probably not. It's
You
not really
wouldn't?
interesting to me in person. Personally, no.
So if you were to create a lucid dream that was to you very interesting, what would it have?
It's just my individual experience of having no limitation in where I go and how I go and what I could do.
Mm-hmm.
Not specifically like world building, just world experiencing without limitation.
Mm-hmm. And if you figured out that you were actually creating that world, that lucid world, what would you do?
Maybe create other things to have experiences with.
Like
Crystal slides that go through water and air and flames and whatever. Anything that in this physical experience of reality would probably destroy my body.
and then after you used it for a month, don't you think that at some point you go, I'd like to bring in Elia here, she'd love it.
Probably.
Right, that's my point. So after you create a lucid dream and you enjoy it yourself, the next step is always to share it. Yeah. You want to share and say, look at this, And then the other person say, look at what I did. Do you want to see it? I created an airplane that flies on air, on farts. Whatever.
Right.
And being a man's like, oh, I want to see that.
I'd be like, no, that's okay, thank you.
No.
Keep that fart plane to yourself.
What about if they said, I made a plane that goes on free energy?
Well, I don't know that it would work well in the astral because you don't need anything in the
But
astral.
wouldn't you be interested to see what do they mean by this?
Not really.
No? Okay.
Not that,
so what would interest
not
you?
in that realm, right? Because, I mean, your airplane doesn't need
Okay,
anything.
it was just an example. So what would interest you? That somebody said, I created XYZ. And you go, I want to see that.
Well, maybe a fantasy world with an underwater world. A world where you don't have an everyday experience of.
Right.
Airplanes we experience.
Okay. Yeah.
You know
So,
what I mean.
bad example.
Yeah.
So with your example, then you would go into their world and have a look.
See what underwater world that I have no idea what it's like, and now I don't need to worry about breathing.
Welcome to the physical reality and why everybody's so interested in it.
Well, because of the opposite, where you can't go everywhere that you want to go and can't do it any way you want to do it.
If you're looking at the underwater world, it's not going to be full of air.
You can't breathe under there. You have to have a very expensive machine, and even then you're going to blow up if you go down to Titanic.
Amazing, isn't it?
No.
That there could be some sort of limitations.
That's the key there, is the limitations are the fascinating part. And for those of us in the experience, limitations are the craw in our whatever gizzard.
However, you're very happy that there's a limitation that doesn't allow you to float up into the sky and space and whatever happens out there.
Some days when I'm trying to, hammer down this nail, I want to hammer. I don't want to float off while I'm trying to hammer it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. We've talked about limitations before, and the limitations we've pretty much all pre-agreed to.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what makes the physical different than the non-physical, is the
Agreements.
So
your friend who has this underwater world in his lucid dream,
that was
he'll
you?
say,
That was
he
you,
will
by
say,
the way.
He will say, or she will say,
you will say, I will say,
she will say,
we will say.
Okay, she will say, hey Larry, do not break the water, okay? These are the rules of this lucid dream. You're not to break the water. You're supposed to walk through it and enjoy all the little fish and all the beautiful colors and the fact that you don't have to breathe the air while you're experiencing it, but you're not to break it.
Don't think the wrong thoughts.
It take more than a few thoughts to break it. You'd have to genuinely go in and try to break that.
Yeah,
No water here.
Don't try to break it.
Yeah.
Don't try to take us somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's
and there might have been a
rule.
clause
That's a
in there.
limitation of it.
Yeah, and
That's
there
its
might
own
be a
limitation.
clause that says anybody who tries to remove all the water from my lucid dream vanishes from my lucid dream.
Or drowns.
Or drowns. Yeah.
Which is kind of what we experience now. It's like the water stays here. You don't want to mess with it. Don't take it away, or else, well, you'll drown.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think are some of the reasons we forget these astral journeys or these REM, dreams? I mean, what's the purpose of forgetting? You can read the article this discussion is based on at the We Talks.
Well, it's going to change soon. You can just go to drivingtotherest.com and you're going to find everything.
Okay. Go to drivingtotherest.com.
You're going to find the article. You're going to find all of the other work from all the things.
And why is it drivingtotherest.com for the We Talks?
Because it's just another episode of their Driving to the Rest. It's just
easier to find it all in one place.
Yeah, so we're going to do Woo for Thought and the We Talks and the Driving to the Rest, all under the Driving to the Rest, yeah.
Okay, so you can go to drivingtotherest.com.
Yes.
And you'll be able to find this conversation.
And if you're interested in the music?
Yeah, we'll go there. And the article that this conversation is based on. And if you want to know what music channeled from the divine part of the non-physical cosmos, I guess, it feels like, go to aneliarecords.com.
Yes.
Right?
INELIA records, no spaces, .com.
Okay. See you there then.
See you there.
Bye.
Bye.